Lately I've been making a lot of zines, just something that I started doing to blow off steam or just to relax or make me feel like I was doing something with my life. And I made a bunch of those little mini zines that you fold out of one page, and it's only got like 8 little pages, and I filled them mostly with little drawings. Then I got this in the mail, and I think it was Vogue, but I'm not sure because my daughter ripped the cover off. Funny story, a old homeless lady used to live on our couch. She was only supposed to stay for about a week while she figured things out, but she ended up staying for 8 months. And of course, during those 8 months, in order to get her benefits and everything, she put our address as her address. And we still get a lot of her mail, even though she has been moved into a nursing home now. And they send her, like, I don't know, I guess she got signed up for like free samples, some kind of mailing list. And so we get these magazines sent to our house quite frequently that are just basically advertising to her and saying, you know, get a subscription to us. So normally I would just throw these magazines into the recycling because I wasn't really interested in them. But since I've gotten into zines, I thought twice, and I looked at it and I said, I bet I could turn that into a zine. Although I'm not really sure if it still counts as a zine if it's made out of a magazine. Kind of seems like it would be, but anyway, it's whatever it would be classified as, it's definitely going to be an art project. So my idea, and I don't have the story or any characters or plot yet, but my idea is to create a murder mystery horror collage zine. I think that covers everything that it's going to be. People don't really know about me is that I am an aspiring writer. I still enjoy the idea of writing, although I don't work on it very much because I don't have a lot of time. But yeah, that's my idea for this, and it's going to be a huge project. What I started with was I tore out any pages that had text and set them aside. So this is all pictures now. It's just all mostly pictures of like fashion stuff. So what those are going to serve as is the backgrounds for the story. I'm going to cut words out of the text section and assemble them on the page to write the story. And then I am going to create collages as illustrations for the horror murder mystery. Like I said, like those are my favorite genres, so I know that it's going to be in that genre. Actually, one of the mini zines, which I started but haven't finished illustrating, was a small mystery. It's actually the story of a true crime podcast telling the story of a crime, which is the murder mystery. So this project is probably going to be pretty similar to that, but on a much larger scale. So what was left after I tore out all of the pages that had text, writing, whatever, is 206 pages, something like that. And so in order to fill it from start to finish, I'm going to have to write a pretty big story. And what I have done to get started on figuring out the story, to make it like a rough draft, is making signatures out of scrap paper. This is just junk scrap paper from my job. I get tons of paper, and instead of throwing it away, I usually use it as scrap to do art or whatever. I've been making my zines out of it. But yeah, so I made a bunch of signatures, 5-page signature, so 5 of the larger pages folded, so it actually comes out to 20 pages once you put them together and flip through it. And so 10 of those is 200 pages. As you can see, I drew something on the front, just kind of got this idea, and it reminded me of the, I don't know if you could see that very well. It says Lepra Comics comic books, games, trading cards. Cards is cut off. It gave me a Alan Moore sort of Watchmen vibe. I was like, maybe part of the story will be set in this comic book store. So I was like, what's a fun name for, Leper Comics. I don't know. It's just an idea that I threw up on the cover real quick, and I was like, maybe the reason why I say Alan Moore, Watchmen, blah blah blah, is because I was thinking of the opening scene of Watchmen where it shows the happy, the green pin, and then zooms out. There's blood everywhere, and I just kind of like had the thought of like sort of zooming out from the sign for this comic book store, and not necessarily have a crime scene to start with, but just that would be like the opening setup for the story. But I might not go with that. It just kind of like popped into my head, so I sketched it out. And I actually really love this little leprechaun face. I don't know, it looks so old-fashioned to me. It made me think of like Mad magazine or something, like just the curly red hair. He looks so happy and goofy. I hate his hat though. It doesn't look like a leprechaun hat to me. I kind of drew it on as I was like, he needs a hat. He looks weird with no hat. But then I put the hat on and it didn't look good. But this is just a mock-up. This is, and like I said, I don't even know if it's really going to start with that. So I might draw over it or whatever. But I've numbered all of these, as you can maybe see, put all the numbers so they're all in order. And that way, when I go to, if I ever go to actually like print it out and make copies, then I'll have this as a guide as to what page goes with what page, if that makes sense. So if we're gonna print it and reassemble it in the signatures, then I'm gonna have, say, this spread. This is page 2, because page 1 is here, so 1, 2, but then this page is 19, 20. So like that's gonna be the guide for that as well. So, and then creating a book with signatures is fun. I used to look into book binding. I've never actually done the whole process, but I do know what the whole process is. So you make these signatures, you punch holes, you sew, you put them all together like this, glue it, once they're all sewn, and then you put the binding on over that. I mean, it's a whole process. I'm not... What, honey? Empty? Where's your pot pie? You already drank a lot of milk. You don't need more. Go eat the rest of the pie. Well, wait, I don't know what time is it? What was I saying? Well, my daughter is having a meltdown, so I think I need to go, but I know. Can I finish? Just like 5 seconds? Okay, I'm gonna say goodbye to the lovely viewers. Okay, and I gotta go. All right, bye.